Well, this is going to be working on a Plow second edition here. In a previous video, you guys may have seen, I rebuilt the clutch on this side. And in that video also I made mention of these connecting linkages between the handle and the mechanism down there. This one was all bent up, straightened it up. This one here was a piece of wire. So I replaced that with a nice straight rod, put a 3/4 loop on that end, and then bent and pinned it on this end. That's not the way it come from the factory, but that's the way it's going to work for me. Since that last video, I've also straightened out this rod. I had to use a torch and heat this stop down here and also the nut up here. I got them both glowing red and let them cool down on their own. Came back a few days later, after it had time to cool down, and they both just threaded right off real nice. I laid the rod out on my anvil and pounded it out flat. Didn't need any heat for that, so it straightened out pretty good. I have also, since the last video, removed this wheel just to inspect it and see what's going on in there. This was a simple one. I didn't make a video of it because it was kind of so simple. This whole wheel assembly is held on by one bolt. It's through bolted onto the axle there. So you jack up the axle, remove that bolt, and then the whole wheel assembly slides off the axle. The wheel assembly then is held together with 3 bolts. You take those 3 bolts out, and there's a cap on this side, there's a cap on this side. This cap has a felt seal in it. Mine was in so-so condition, so I reused it. I greased it up real good, and these end caps have a gasket. I cut a new gasket, and you've seen that in my other videos. You guys are the subscribers. You saw where I talk about cutting gaskets with hollow punches and stuff. So that was a real simple one there. Inside the cap is like a bearing. The bearing rides against this outside cap and takes care of that circular motion. Open it up, guys. If you got one like that, you'll see what I'm talking about. It's a simple setup in there, so you'll be able to figure that out, no problem. Grease fitting there. Went ahead and just replaced it. And I think tonight's project is going to be this tail wheel. I haven't done anything with this, as a matter of fact. So I'm going to jack up. I think I'm just going to jack up the plow back here and see if that wheel turns okay. I should say I'm no professional at this sort of stuff. This is my first plow. I'm learning as I go here, so maybe I can help you out by showing you what not to do. So this is just what I'm going through. Hopefully this will help you out if you're tinkering with something like this too. It looks to me like this rod should go in here. I can feel a hole, and that rod is most certainly not in the hole. So I'm guessing that probably should ride in there. But like I say, I think I'm going to go ahead and jack it up, see if it spins, see how it feels, see how much play's in it. Maybe just put a grease gun on there and pump it full of grease, see what happens. So let me get a jack, get 2 hands on this thing, start tinkering, and I'll catch you guys up here in a little bit. All right, guys. Well, I didn't need a jack. I put it up on just a block of 4x4. Actually, the tail end of this thing's reasonably light, so picked it up, set it on a block of wood, stuck my grease gun on there, and I'm pretty happy with that. I mean, hell, it's turning with one finger. I don't hear any rubbing or grinding or anything. As I was, pumping grease in here on the fitting, I could see it coming up between these plates here, and it's just kind of oozing all out, and I'm spinning it around. As I was pumping it, I'd pump it 3 or 4 times, and then I'd kind of turn it and pump it and turn it. And I mean, it's getting better the more I play with it. So I don't see really any slop in it. So we're gonna leave that alone. This here, I sprayed some PB Blaster on here. Is why it looks a little wet. Loosened up those bolts and stuck that rod in there, and then tightened the bolts back up. So I don't know. I'm not entirely certain what the function of that is. I guess it's just to support the back of the plow. But that looks to be in pretty good shape. So I guess we're going to move right on here. This Kalter up here This plow, when I got it, had one Kalter. It's missing the other one. So I'm gonna see what kind of condition this one's in. Kind of wobbly there, but looks like the carriage bolt is not in all the way. So I will maybe take that bolt out and take this bolt out and disassemble this thing, and we'll see what that looks like up on the bench maybe. All right, so you can see I got it out of the holder or whatever you want to call that apparatus. Just took the nut off and kind of tapped the carriage bolt out. Carriage bolt's kind of in rough condition, but I went ahead and cleaned up the head with a file, cleaned up the hole. It does have a square hole on this side, so it does call for a carriage bolt. So I cleaned that back up with a small file in there, cleaned them edges up and stuff. So I think we're in good shape there. Just in an effort to kind of reuse the old hardware, you know, for aesthetic reasons, and also because I'm a tight ass and I don't want to have to buy another bolt if I can help it. Took my cheap Harbor Freight tap and die set there, cleaned up the threads because the threads were really bad, and they cleaned up okay. Chased the threads in the nut too, so half 13 is the nuts, or the threads there. The Kalter Assembly itself is pretty simple. Here, let's see if I can stand it up without it falling apart. It's got a cap on each end. You see that little cap there is probably going to fall off. I'm holding the one back here on with my hand, so the cap falls off on that side, cap falls off on this side, and then that there's like a center shaft here, pulls right out. Luckily there's a little grease in there, so it's not all rusted and everything. So that doesn't look terrible, doesn't look out of round or anything. The down in through there, it looks like there's oh heck, where's my light? Looks like there's oh, I don't know what you want to call it, like a spacer or a bearing or what down in there, but there's a gap between those rings that kind of lines up with the grease fitting there, so I'm guessing grease will work its way, kind of migrate across the whole assembly, just in the gap of those rings there. So it actually looks pretty good down in there. I think I'm just going to go ahead and reassemble the thing, maybe change out that grease fitting, reassemble the thing, pull the bolt in tight where it's not sticking out loose and allowing slop on everything, and reassemble it, just grease it up and see what it looks like. All right, so I got it mounted back on the plow, greased it up. I did change that grease fitting just because the old one, the little spring or the little ball in the tip looked like it was missing, and the thing was all full of dirt. So just change out the grease fitting rather than allowing you know, dirt to get back in there. I pumped it up with some grease, spun it around a few times. You can see all the old grease is coming out there. That's a good sign. Means that there was some grease in there, and the fact that the grease is coming out means that the new grease is working its way through. So I would have liked to seen a little more grease come out on this side, but it seems like it's all coming out here. A little bit of use, and that'll you know, kind of all even out in through there. There is no slop in that at all anymore. So I'm really happy with how I've got the head seated on that carriage bolt now. You can see there's a considerable amount of thread sticking through now, so I think that was just on there way too loose before. Next thing is going to be rounding up a Kalter for this other side. I've got two candidates over there. We're going to see which one is the best of the two, and I'm thinking it's probably going to be this one. So I'm going to get that up on the bench, get it tore apart, and we'll take a look at it. All right guys, so I got the other Kalter up on the bench here, and as you can tell, just put the torch away. I cannot get, I got the nut off of this side, but I can't get the bolt to beat out, and you can see how much separation I've got now. I don't want to keep beating and spreading the arms of this thing apart, so heated the heck out of that. I'm gonna let it cool down, and then hopefully that bolt will just pop right out. Now what I was heating there was that spacer or washer, whatever you want to call it. I think that's stuck on the bolt because the bolt head is turning, so I don't think the bolt is stuck in this arm. I think that spacer is stuck on the bolt. So we'll let that cool down. Probably gonna take some time and give that a few love taps. and get that to come off. In the meantime, while I'm waiting on that, I think I'm going to go ahead and take this rope guide. I don't know what you want to call that. It's just an eyelet that keeps the rope up out of the handles and stuff, because your rope will be up here, you know, tied to your tractor seat. Well, there's a breakaway device that it's tied to, then it's clipped into the tractor seat. So then the rope comes down here, goes through this eyelet, and then comes down to your trip lever and ties off. So there's a good one on that parts plow out there, kind of a neat little thing. I think I'm going to take this one off and go out to that parts plow and see if I can get that one off. So I'll catch you up here in a bit. Well, I went out and pulled this this little apparatus, this is like a rope guide, off of that parts plow, and I come over here and I'm looking at, you know, where I want to mount it up, and I could mount it on this hole, or, you know, it'd have to mount like that, and it's kind of in the way. There ain't a whole lot of clearance between the two arms there, so and then I don't want to, you know, I don't want to have a whole big long run of rope before you get to it. You know, it's only 6 more inches or so, but, you know, 6 more inches. And the more I look at it, you know, I can't really mount it up on this side because of this rod here. This one is mounted at the top, so I really can't do that. I think I'm just going to end up sticking this thing on the shelf, and it's kind of a neat little deal. The rollers all roll pretty good, so I don't know what I'll use that for in the future, but I think I'm just going to stick that up on the shelf, and I'm just going to use what's on there. Boy, what a giant pain in the ass that was. Okay, so the other one, by the time I got it apart, I had cut the bolt, I had sanded down the bolt, I boogered up all the threads on the bolt, and I busted 2 cast pieces that were like the caps on it. So I kind of give up on that one. I put it off to the side. We're going to take a look at this one, and I'll update you here in a bit. All right, well, I noticed it's got a big old chunk out of this plate here. Doesn't seem like it's affecting it though. It's keeping the grease in it. I put some grease to it, and it actually is rolling really well. I changed the grease fitting out. I was going to pull the bolt out, clean that up in there, and I thought, you know what? Why go looking for trouble? So I had to readjust this vertical rod here, but it wasn't much. I mean, heck, I spent way less time jacking with this than I did just tearing apart the other one. So I'm going to get this mounted on the plow. We'll have a look at it. Just real quick, I want to kind of talk about these grease fittings I use. This is the little kit that I use most grease fittings from. I think I got this probably from Harbor Freight. But these 1/8 inch NPT straight, this is what I seem to use the most of. In fact, I mean, you can see the different colored ones where I've filled this kit back up of these. So if you guys are going to be tinkering around, get you some grease fittings, that 1/8 inch NPT straight is the ones I use the most of. Well, we got our Kalter mounted up back here. Turns real good. Looks pretty good on there. So the next thing I need to do is, I'm working on this hitch. This pin is supposed to have a spring. I've taken it apart. It's supposed to be a spring in there to hold that pin down when it lines up with that hole. So it's supposed to be spring loaded to pull it down. That old spring was worn out and broke. So I got the pin out. I kind of sanded it up a little bit, and I'm going to replace the spring on there. I'll show you how that works when I get it back together. Okay guys, so you can see I got the hitch put back together, and how this works is this pin is spring loaded. You can see I got the new spring on there now. I got it pinned in. You lift up that pin. I don't know if it's supposed to come all the way out of the hole like that, but you lift up that pin, slide that back, and that's how you hook up the tractor. The old tractors for this style would have had a drawbar that came back and made a big loop, a horizontal loop, similar to what you think of a pintle hitch, just a big ring. So you back your tractor up to this, and you close that up around the loop. You capture that loop like this, slide that forward, drop your pin in, and now you're hitched up. And the big spring down here, it keeps tension on that so it doesn't pull out of there. But what happens is this is like a breakaway assembly. So say you're plowing along and you hit a big giant boulder in the ground or a big stump or something. Your plow something's got to give when you hit something hard. So your plow would hit that stump or whatever and stop, and this spring would then pull, your tractor would pull so hard it would compress that spring and pull this rod out, which then would pull that out from under this, and essentially this thing would flip open and your tractor would then drive away and your plow would be stuck to the stump or boulder or whatever. The thing with that is, what you got to be careful is, a lot of guys would tie their trip lever. It's got a rope on it, runs up through that eyelet, comes up, and it's supposed to be on a breakaway mechanism on the seat. So if that were to ever trip, you know, you hit a big stump or whatever, the plow stops, tractor keeps going, and you better have your rope on a breakaway. Otherwise, that rope might rip the seat right off the back of your tractor with you sitting on it, and you might just come rolling right off the back of the tractor. So you got to have that breakaway on your seat for the whole system to kind of work. As long as that little breakaway clippy, it's like a wire clip. As long as that little wire clip's on there, you know, this trips open, that wire clip pulls off, so the rope and the plow all stays. You know, they both come disconnected from the tractor. You just drive away, and you know, no damage, hopefully, to your plow at all. But that's how that works. Guys, I'm pretty much running out of stuff to do on this plow. Getting kind of sick of it taking up space here in the garage. Now it's it's coming on middle of November, so it's kind of late for me to be using this. I don't know, I might tinker with it out in the field. If I do use it this fall, I'll show you. Otherwise, it's pretty much done. I think I'm just going to push this outside, push it over there with the other collection of plows I got under the pine trees, and wait for spring and get some use out of this. So if you guys are working on a John Deere plow like this, hopefully these videos have helped you. If they have, click that thumbs up button. If you want to see more videos like this, or me working on any number of things, you just never know what I get into, click that subscribe button. You'll see those other videos. Until the next video, guys, keep on tinkering.